Hey everybody, what's going on? It's James here with Crypto Common Sense, and I have a Bitcoin slash altcoin cryptocurrency market update video for Sunday, May the 16th. Somebody in my Facebook group asked me to do this, so I'm going to sit down and try to shoot a 10-minute video for you. Before I jump into the content, please do me a huge favor, hit that thumbs up button, make sure you subscribe to the channel, and of course, don't forget to check the description for a link where you can join Patreon for just $7 a month. I really need you guys to do that. If you enjoy these videos, I want you to go down there and subscribe to Patreon because there's all kinds of stuff that I really want to do for this channel, right? All kinds of like daily updates. Hey, here's some trades I'm looking at. Here's some software that I'm using that I've developed for personal use. I want to do all that stuff, but right now the Patreon makes $250 a month and it's just, I can't justify it, right? So if you enjoy these videos, make sure you sign up for that because eventually, if it doesn't start to grow, you know, there's no point in doing the videos. I made more in funding last month by far than Patreon makes, right? So, and funding doesn't require me to do anything. So seriously, if you enjoy the videos, do me a favor, sign up for Patreon at $7 a month, and I don't believe you will be disappointed. Now, let's jump into the charts. Like I said, I want to try to keep this short. Look, it's this simple, guys. I see people who relied on technicals to be bullish this whole time, who are now saying, well, technicals aren't the end-all be-all. Fundamentals are still good. They're trying to justify a bullish stance when a bullish stance doesn't really exist. I get it. I did it last year. You guys saw me do it, right? I called the 4K bottom 9 months before it happened. I said, I think it'll go to 4K and then 72K. But then when 4K came, I literally canceled all of my orders to buy back all of my Bitcoin that I had sold much higher, right? Because I was worried about fundamentals. I was worried about COVID, and I was worried about unemployment. I was worried about this, and I was worried about that, right? And I was ignoring the charts. I was taking trades on the charts. I was scalping the charts, taking longs, closing them a few hours later, taking longs, closing them a few days later. Always worried about that rug pull that was going to happen while I was sleeping, right? And as a result, I cost myself a lot of money, guys, a lot of money. I still had a really good year because everybody should have had a good year, right? When the market's been like it has been. But yeah, I definitely hurt myself a lot. And now I see people making the same mistake, except they're on the bull side. And it's going to be even worse if you are wrong on the bull side. If you're wrong as a bear, you miss an opportunity. If you're wrong as a bull, you lose money, right? It's even worse. So here's what I would say. Look at the charts, make your own decisions, obviously, but don't ignore the charts, all right? This is a weekly chart of Bitcoin. This is, depending on how you look at this, you might even say this is already a lower low. I'm going to give bulls the benefit of the doubt, because this was still inside the channel. I'm going to call this a higher low. So I'm going to call this a low, right, a higher low, higher high, higher low. But this is a potential lower high already. And this is looking a hell of a lot like a lower low. It hasn't closed yet. It's still got about 3.5 hours to go. But if this closes like this, guys, that is a telltale sign the bear market is here. I'm sorry, no one wants to hear it, I know. Well, some people probably do, but I don't want to hear it, right? But the reality is this. That means that it's lost the upward channel. That means that it's a lower low, which is bearish structure. That means it's lost the 19-week moving average. Hell, even if you use the more forgiving 21-week moving average, well below that 21-week moving average. I use the 19, as you guys know. Been using it for a few years, right? It's lost all of that. Also, pop-up RSI. We didn't hold, guys. Remember the top of the box was the support that had to hold. Really needed that to hold for bulls. It has not held. Now, again, this candle is not closed. It can move up and it can close right on top of it and end up being a nasty bear trap. But as of right now, this is down inside the bear market box. So I did take more profits off the table a few hours ago. Okay? We can see our sell volume starting to pick up some here on this weekly candle. Very unlikely that's going to flip green in the next 3.5 hours. All right, so that's the weekly chart. It looks like an absolute mess. 3-day chart, same thing, just looking doggish, right? It's pretty damn deep in this bear market box. We should not be seeing that in a bull market. If we look at the 1-day chart, we are well outside of both of these channels I had drawn. We're well underneath the 50 moving average. The 50 moving average is starting to turn down. That should not happen in a bull market, right? Not impossible. Look back here. It turned down back here and then it went back up, right? So don't want to freak you out too much. It's not impossible, but highly unlikely. We do have the 200-day moving average sitting down around 39,000. So there is some hope there that if this does pull back to this area, maybe it will stop, right? And end up being just a really nasty correction. That is potentially possible. Unlikely, but it is possible. And if you draw some Fibonacci levels on here, we haven't quite got back down to the 61.8. So again, that's back around this old high. So there is some hope for the bulls here, but it's looking really bad. You go over to a 4-hour chart. There is a 3 little pig setup that is trying to come in here. As you guys know, if you watch the channel, that is a bullish, right? That's a bullish setup. If you're making higher highs on price and lower highs on RSI, then that's a bearish setup. But right here you have it. You have your, what I call the host of the dinner party. You have your first divergence, your second divergence, and your third potential divergence here versus RSI. That is the 3 little pig setup. It's literally triple divergence, either bearish or bullish. In this case, it's bullish. So this does say that, hey, maybe there is going to be some kind of bounce here, but I don't view this, if it does bounce, I don't view it as a bounce. It's like, okay, we're good to go, bull market, bull market, bull market. If this bounces, I view it as a bounce that I'm going to be looking to short, right? And because in an uptrend, you long the dips, and in a downtrend, you short the rips, right? That's the way you trade these things. Obviously, selling volume in the 4-hour chart, still screaming distribution. Big red sell bars, little bitty green buy bars, right? All selling volume. Buyers are just being completely overwhelmed. Also, as a side note, you might want to go look at Twitter if you're an Elon Musk fan. I'm not. Used to be, but not no more. He's manipulating the markets at his whim, and it's hurting a lot of people. So he came out recently, I guess today, and basically said that he may sell all of his Bitcoin, right? Now, whether he does or not, we'll never know. He also came out yesterday, and it came out that he'd been working with Doge developers for a few years, since 2019. Kind of funny how he never mentioned any of that when he was pumping the price. You got to wonder how much Doge the guy had and how much Doge the guy sold. If any at all. We don't know, right? The bottom line is this. On the shorter time frame, the 4-hour chart, on a big picture, it looks really bad. On a small picture, it does look like it might be due for some type of bounce. So be careful there. If you're trying to short this, you could end up getting squeezed if you're not careful. And what else? Altcoins. Let's look at altcoins real quick. Going to look at, well, first let's look at Bitcoin dominance. Guys, look, my opinion is still that Bitcoin dominance is going to continue falling, right? I look at this as a very cliche retest of this golden pocket here. It does have a trend target down at around 11.51. So even if Bitcoin goes into a bear market and starts doing poorly, I still think these alts, a lot of these alts are probably going to gain ground versus Bitcoin. They may lose versus US dollars, right? We don't know that for sure, but they do look poised to gain versus Bitcoin. So that's a really weird deal. That's not normally the way it works. Normally in a bear market, Bitcoin is rising in dominance. So that is something to keep in mind. It's really difficult to even predict how we should play that, right? I don't know. I really don't know. If we look at the total market cap on a weekly chart, this is unfortunately putting in a bearish engulfing candle. Again, this candle could close differently. It's still got 3.5 hours to go. But right now, this is a very, very bad sign for bulls, right? There's your top of the previous candle, there's your low of the previous candle, and this new candle is completely engulfing all of that. So we'll see how it closes, but it looks really bad right now. All right, you put it on a monthly chart, and it just looks like a hell of a lot like this candle right here, but this is May 16th. There's still 2 weeks left in the month. So we'll see how this candle actually looks when it closes. So in a day, I'm going to keep the video short this time because I do have a bad habit of going off on tangents. Please remember, guys, I am just some guy sitting in a spare bedroom, which means I've been wrong before. I will be wrong again. That's the only thing I can guarantee. For that reason, you should always go out there and do your own due diligence and seek out professional investment advice from a licensed financial advisor, which I'm not, before making any type of investment in cryptocurrency, the stock market, or precious metals. If you enjoyed the video, make sure and give it a thumbs up. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. And again, make sure to support the channel by joining Patreon. It's just $7 a month, and you can find the link down in the description. As always, this is James with Crypto Common Sense, reminding you to please trade safe.